Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a hot minute since we were doing normal Miotsukushi, but we finally finished it. The load structure is kind of weird because we're here, and I think, how long did it take for us to beat Miotsukushi? A while. Like here, maybe. May 30th. 31st? There we go. It's a long while, and honestly, maybe I forgot a little bit, but yeah, let's see what's happening. Honestly, I'm looking at my playlist. Or I was. Wait, where did it go? Uh, can I just let's just try to piece together what happened via titles in the playlist. Um, Also thanks for 523 subs. I appreciate it. At the time of the recording, it may or may not be the same. Um, so it is going to be nice getting back to the main boys. Alright, let's see. I know we were doing our tomfoolery. We were buffing people. It's a little rougher in this arc. There was hurdles we needed to do with Rena and I think Mion too. Um. All right. So Mitsukushi Tat Hanulus Fragment, we remember that, of course. Kit the Can, where Keiichi got upgraded to the new club member. Or new class representative, and everyone's a club member. Lots of Mion Keiichi love. That's what I loved about this, man. Lots of Mion and Keiichi pairing. Not even just one reference, two. Two. Based. We beat Rina. We beat Rina. Keiichi got buffed. Old Bachelor tournament. Mion moment. They forgave each other. Yeah, that's it. So we finished with the Sonozaki sisters forgiving each other. The whole Rina thing's done. What else is there? Tepe's done by, like, extension, I think. I don't know if there's any more problems, but the setup is good. Let's just get right back into this. I forgot when it became like this. Or rather, I found it bothersome to remember. There were at least a dozen potential triggers for it, but I never wanted to think about where my downfall began. Oops. All these people around me, there's not one good person among them. I hated just remembering the faces of my family members, so I had no interest in what they're doing. Who is talking right now? I thought it was Rita. I believe that all women are enemies, and that it's always eat or be eaten. What the heck? All the men who tried to seduce were totally worthless, so dating them was more annoying than it was boring. Is this Tatano? Rare Tatano POV? I can't imagine it being anyone else. Ain't no one else doing any seducing at their age. Unless Chia? Chia? Now I'm angry. Why are all the people around me so useless and idiotic? When they open their mouths, all they ever do is talk about themselves and drone on about their own desires. Even if they churn out affectionate language to flatter me, that's like throwing it inside the filthy, smelly gutter of ulterior motives. So, no matter how vibrant the words are, they immediately sink down and disappear. That made me feel absolutely disgusted. I spat down on the ground, the inside of my mouth that had burnt, irritating smell from earlier. Had that burnt, irritating smell from earlier. I looked around for something to drink, but there were no vending machines on this backwater country road. That pissed me off even more, so I felt like I wanted to scream at someone, anyone. I haven't done anything bad, it's everyone else who's in the wrong. Okay, this is not Takano. Rana? No, it's Rena! Oh my god. I mean, I guess that made sense. That made so much sense now. Okay, so, I mean, Rena's really been fucked over this route. I mean, at least she isn't dead, though. Her plans to steal got foiled. She got exposed by Rena's, like, her divorce thing, too. I mean, it's just a GG. Since I played out properly, I'd be moving into a luxury apartment in Godora right about now. I could have been lounging on a brand new sofa drinking alcohol. Good old Rena, huh? Or I could be counting stacks of cash while sitting on a first-class international flight. Anyway, just thinking about the person who robbed me of my certain happiness made my blood boil. When I remember that boring middle-aged man Ryugu, or whatever his name was, bruh, you can't even remember what his name was? With the Lonton stem? Said, I couldn't help but shout. Even after giving him such a good time, he suddenly cut all contact with me. Base dad, honestly. As strange, I mean, he needed some pushing, but still good. As strange as that was, I later heard through a proxy lawyer that our engagement has been unilaterally cancelled. And to make it even worse, the lawyer was one of the Sonozakis. He said something totally ridiculous, so I yelled at him and demanded compensation. But then out of nowhere, he threatened to peacefully end things by telling that bastard Tetsu about it. So she got strong-armed to leave it alone. On it, I'm loving the rare Rena POV though. I always liked Rena. She's a good villain, honestly. And you know, she had her little redemption arc for in Higurashi Sotsu for like the one or two real Rena fans out there. And even in her redemption arc, she still died, but still, it's the thought that counts. It's not like I even care about Tetsu anyway. He's a loud, touchy, and dim-witted guy who refuses to do any work. Even though he was hardly doing anything this time, he was so obsessed with taking his share of that he wanted half. So I started bringing in money from that old fart Ryudu. I decided it was time to cut him off. Oh, so he's already gone. Oh, never mind. But that good-for-nothing bastard was supposed to foot the bill for my apartment and she's homeless, man. I smashed the whiskey bottle in my hand against a telephone pole in a burst of rage. That glass bottle let out a flashy sound as it shattered and then drenched the surrounding area in the characteristically rich odor of whiskey. There's quite a bit left, but I had already wasted it, so I couldn't help but be annoyed when I thought this was my only substitute for my retirement money. All of a sudden, I got a transfer notice. What do you mean transfer? Isn't she like a hostess? Do they do that? I was hoping to rob the treasury funds from the Sonozakis. After careful planning, quote-unquote careful, we succeeded in obtaining a copy of the key. With that, we should have been able to gain pretty much all of the money. And everything was going fine until we snuck into the office. Nevertheless, the plan failed because we couldn't get the money out of the safe. The key to the safe room didn't work. Unbelievable. Even after such meticulous planning, knowing that we'd be slaughtered if they found us, we should have been able to obtain a nest egg, but it already hatched? Are you kidding me? And of course, the crew directed their anger and disappointment at the person responsible for getting the keys. Me. Everyone started blaming one another, and then the whole gang disbanded. But I can't stop feeling frustrated. I wanted to at least dish out some payback for throwing me under the bus, so I snitched the robbery plan to the general manager, Kasai. Oh, I'm trying to get all her teammates down. That's kind of fucked up. Of course, it goes without saying I kept my involvement secret from him, but Kasai lightly laughed at me and then spoke while pulling out a pistol. Oh shit. My man. Big Kasai. Big K. Honestly, it's kind of crazy he's letting them keep her job after attempting to rob the place. I feel like it'd be more than fine to fire her, unless she's like bringing in money. Good hostess. And then the general manager had me transferred from the bar I had been working at to some second-class bar. Of course, that bar was even cheaper and more bland than the previous one, and only the most miserly of customers would be caught there. Downfall. I mean, it's just karma. Honestly, you can't really feel bad for Rina. As well, like, I liked her, and even in her, like, even in the redemption arc in Sotsu, it's like even though she realized, oh, this is bad, I shouldn't be doing this, you know, maybe I'll stop. It's like she still, like, did a lot of bad things. I don't know. There's a lot of sympathetic characters. Even what's his name, Hanada, the main villain from Ura. You know, he had some sympathetic points, and he was a pretty good villain. But Rina, like, she's just kind of an asshole. I mean, she probably had a rough childhood. I think they did mention that in Sotsu, but still. Obviously, I don't think she deserves to die or whatever, but just saying. Thinking back on it, it pissed me off. I couldn't say anything with Kase holding a gun in plain view. I was scared shitless and ran away. Smart choice. And now it's just shameful and mortifying. Independent, rich life was hanging right in front of me, and yet now I'm a drunkard who's been demoted to a second-class joint. Should have just played the clean hostess role and just been a good hostess and got married to a rich guy, as it happens. Intense nausea flared up inside me and I puked all across the side of the road. I frowned at the nasty smell of the sour gastric juices while looking at the filth on the ground in front of me, and a strange sensation suddenly came over me. What the hell is this? This filth in front of me is the price of trying to escape from this hideous life. What religion says that wanting to live above your position and find happiness is worthy of divine punishment? But that's not right. What's wrong with wanting to be happy? I did all I could. How many times have women thought about selling themselves to go live on in this harsh world? So it's not my fault things ended up like this. The bad guys are the ones who drove me to this. Family, friends, associates, and other people like that. Why did I not have the bare minimum amount of luck to be blessed with people like that? That's obvious, it's their fault. Hey, she's at the clinic. Suddenly, I noticed a building that looked like a clinic in front of me. I'm in no mood to see Tetsu's annoying face. That thought had driven me to walk away from Okonomiya, but I realized that I ended up in Hinamizawa at some point without even noticing. It's a long walk. It was outside the business hours, so naturally, the inside of the clinic was dark and quiet. I could only vaguely make out the outline of the building in the darkness of the night, but I felt a chilly atmosphere and began lightly trembling. However, at the same time, I had a thought. This might be the opportunity I was asking for. It's a clinic, so clearly it has doctors. They sell medicine at high prices, and they bring in plenty of money through medical insurance. So, what? She wants a job? I'm not sure how much income a rural clinic pulls in, but I'm sure it brings more cash than other villagers around here. Plus, it had that pale-faced weakling of a Dr. Irie. I've seen him in Otonomiya, driving an expensive sports car wearing brand-name clothes. What is his, like, weird I mean, it's not even weird, his yellow shirt. I mean, I didn't really think of Irie as a suede master, but apparently he's dripped out of the wazoo. I mean, I bet he does make a good amount of money, though. Secret government doctor researcher, dude. Just thinking it over for a moment, it's clear he has a decent salary. And if that's the case, then naturally, this clinic must have some good money tucked away somewhere. Are you robbing the place? I guess that makes a lot more sense. I was done to say, is she gonna try to rob it? But then when she started talking, I'm like, wait, does she want a job? No, this is the wrong clinic to rob. Poor Rena. I thought they might give her a break. Like, maybe mini redemption for her, but nah, she's dead, man. It was easy to imagine a clinic wouldn't have much security, and even if I'm arrested and sent to jail, I'll be out in just a few years as long as I keep quiet. Well, that's one way to think about jail time. No need to think about what to do after release until then. Anyway, I'm sure the trouble in Otonomia will cool off by then. And more importantly, if things go well, I'll be able to store a lot of money, even if it's not as much as I would have gotten from the Sonozaki treasury funds.
Nice idea.
Yep. How hilarious it all was. This was totally different from the Sonozaki since there's no risk of death. Oh, bro. I mean, she's just asking for it at this point. So many death flags. It's not her fault, but it's like just the. I mean, I feel like robbing like a clinic is like really hard, anyways. I feel like they naturally like, even if this wasn't a secret government place, they would have security, just as there is narcotics in there, right? They usually have like tight security around that. Considering the risk and rewards, it's clear what I should do. I wondered why nobody ever suggested it, even though we had so many of us.
さてと
I delicately crept toward the clinic and took a look around. I'll have to pass on going toward the main entrance. I can't imagine they leave it unlocked, and it would be hard to pry it open without tools. In which case, the natural choice is to go through a window. They actually make an unexpected blind spot. Air conditioning can sometimes make patients feel sick, so they regularly open the and close the windows for fresh air. Ain't no ways. I mean, I guess like in a small village, maybe. But I don't know about that, man. I mean, it made sense, I guess, thinking about it. And it's pretty common to accidentally forget to lock one of the windows after opening them, leaving nothing but a screen in the way. I cautiously approached a window and pushed to see if it was locked. No good. And the one beside it, also no good. As I repeated that several more times, I started to think that the surrounding houses were far enough I could just break the glass with a rod. Also, there's like no patients here. I feel like, I mean, I guess clinics could have overnight patients, but yeah. But the moment I thought that, I found a window that opened without any resistance.
ついてるね
I suddenly muttered that to myself while grabbing the window frame with both hands to pull my body up. Then I leaned my upward body forward and to try to lift my legs, but in my drunken state it didn't quite work and I fell into the room.
ちくしょう
I started swearing without thinking, but then quickly began grinning. My body ached all over, and I may actually have hurt something, but I was in a great mood, so I didn't care at all.
さてお宝はどこか
Snooping.
しみったれてるね
I finally found a coin purse in one of the desk drawers and stuffed it in my pocket while kicking a chair in frustration. A coin. I mean, why are you looking here, bro? I wouldn't. I mean, maybe there's just a safe here. It made a dull sound as to slid into the corner of the room, hit the wall, and then fell over. But I mean, what is she? Is she just looking for money? I mean, maybe it's different in Japan. Now that I think about it, they're not really a place that uses a lot of credit cards and stuff. I know that. But in Canada, you don't pay money. You don't use cash for clinics, usually. Actually, that's not true. I lied. Walk-in clinics, you do. Excuse me. I spent what seemed like hours looking through some sort of doctor's office, and all I had to show for it was a coin purse full of a few 10 and 100 yen coins. Of course I was unsatisfied. That money would be gone after just 2 days of eating and drinking tops.
せっかく腹決めて忍び込んだんだ
Just steal like some
収
medicine.
まるかっての
I don't know how you would sell it. There we go. At least go like out in front. You'd think they'd keep money there. I opened the door and stepped out into the hallway with nothing but the dim glow of the security light. I could see a few other doors leading to rooms. My intuition told me that among them, the door at the end of the hallway had the most obvious signs of money inside. Trusting that hunch, I put my hand on the knob, turned and pulled. Her money senses were tingling. The door opened easily, and inside I found a staircase leading to the second floor, with a mountain of cardboard boxes packed beside it. What's in the boxes? When I picked one up to look inside, I noticed a staircase leading to the basement behind them, hidden in the shadows and nearly impossible to notice at first
ま
glance.
すます匂うね。
Oh no, Rena. Not the basement, dude. That's like the death sentence. I felt no fear as I descended into the creepy darkness with my head held high. I carefully crept down the stairs one step at a time.
なんだいこりゃ。
I mean, this is a huge stoop. Imagine if Rena just deads out, man, and breaks this news. It'd be kind of crazy. I was shocked. Surprisingly enough, the basement was just as large as the first floor above, and there were several rooms with the same layout as the first floor. The Irie clinic has 2 floors and many rooms. Plus, there's plenty of open land around it. It didn't seem like it required building a basement for additional rooms. And yet, choosing to build these rooms underground instead of expanding normally meant that these must be used to hide something important. With that understanding, I put my hand on the doorknob leading to the front of the room and felt exhilarated as I opened it. Peekaboo! I grimaced at the nasty stench of chemicals as soon as the door opened, but when I peered into the dimly lit room, what I saw was... There were shelves packed with tons of specimens in glass tubes. It was a huge aquarium, big enough to fit a human or even a hippo inside, and it was connected to a machine that seemed to be monitoring it, or recording data. It was a complex machine, like an oscilloscope, periodically making electronic sounds. No, looking closer, there were many cylinders set up inside the tank. I looked more carefully, trying to figure out what was inside, and gasped. It was a human brain and a spinal cord. What the fuck? I don't think we've ever seen that. Doing some brain shit? Whose brain is that, man?
本物
And then, at last, I finally realized that I had come to a completely outrageous place. Steal the brain! All the blood in my body froze over like it had turned into a sherbet, and it filled me with an awful feeling as it rushed through me. I was still feeling drunk just a moment ago, but it vanished in an instant. Run away. Get out of here, now. Thinking that, I quickly took a step back. Oh no, but I brushed against something sitting on the desk and it fell to the ground. It let out a dull sound as it landed by my feet, but my eyes opened wide the moment I saw it. It was a handgun, but clearly not the type used by gangsters. It was a military-grade weapon. I'm surprised she got this far and they're just leaving guns around, man. They gotta work on the security details here. It's kinda a little too open.
なんなのさここは
Shh.
あらあらあなた
Oh
なの
no. And she got spotted by Tatano.
どんなネズミかと思って来てみたらがっかりね
Anyways, it's nice to see Tatano. That's my girl. Tatano. Nurse Tatano's back, baby. I caught my breath and quickly looked back. A woman dressed in a nurse's outfit was standing there. I've seen her before, I'm sure. That's Tatano. Right, she's the nurse that works at the clinic. Tatano. Taki Tatano.
ネズミ一匹それもドブネズミとはね
Well, that's just rude. But true, probably.
どうやらただの
Okay,
コソ泥
so
ってとこか
they knew. Okay, that made sense. Maybe the security is not that bad. Tatano remained completely calm and firmly glared at me as she slowly approached, one step at a time. She greeted me with a kind smile and a gentle demeanor, but she didn't drop her guard for a moment. And most of all, I couldn't see any emotion in her eyes, illuminated by this dimly lit room. They were as cold as balls of glass, and they firmly stared straight ahead, not veering away for even an instant. That's not human. No, those are not the eyes of a human being.
止まりな
Sure the gun isn't loaded.
それ以上動くと
Hopefully. Feeling desperate, I reached for the military handgun that fell by my feet and aimed at the nurse right in front of me. My hands were lightly shaking, but I gripped it tight in both hands and threatened her with my finger on the trigger.
あら大層なものをお持ちね
When Tatano saw that, her eyes opened wide, like she was surprised, and she stopped approaching, and yet her smile widened into a grin. The more she smiled, the more her eyes, her mouth, and the entire atmosphere of the room grew more wicked. The absolute terror dominated my entire mind and body, and it was like standing before a demon.
この実験室一つ一つはねそれぞれとても重要な施設なのよたくさんの高価な最新の科学技術がふんだんに惜しげもなくつぎ込まれているちなみにそのあなたの背後にある水槽は
The
その
Giga
中でも
brain.
高い方か
Is
しら
that Sumita? Sumita from Muv-Luv? Or, I mean, that might not even... The brain from Muv-Luv? Also spoilers? I spoiled for no reason. Sorry, it's channel relevant.
まさに人類の英知を深める厳かな神への儀式の祭壇というにふさわしいものよ
神儀式だって
ええそうよ残念ながら人間として命を長らえることができなかった人
Oh,
が
Jesus.
その力を神へと捧げることでシャングリラへの道が開かれるそこにはあらゆる差別も苦悩も憎悪もなくまさに人が己の意志でもって欲望を自由にそして永遠に育み楽しむことができるなんて理想の世界だとは思わない
Tatano paid no heed to the gun pointing straight at her, but instead opened her arms wide and started walking while euphorically gazing up at the ceiling, and the gibberish she spoke was both creepy and horrifying. I'd be creeped out too, that was weird.
うるさい
Just shoot her. Shoot her, Rina. It's your only hope.
私そんなこと聞いてないし聞く
You
気
have
も
no
ない
other
よ
choice.
あら残念せっかくね物語のネタになるかと思ったのに
I was practicing in the mirror to finally let out that line, man.
閻魔大王の
No, Rina! The two Rina fans! I'm sorry. This was not her arc, apparently. The good ending does not mean a happy ending for Rina. The next moment, Tatano quickly pulled a handgun from behind her back and fired. I fell to the ground on the spot. Outdueled. Should have just shot right away. It is what it is. Something hot and slimy came oozing from out of my right shoulder, nonstop, and I felt my consciousness quickly fading.
くそチキちゃ
Ouchie.
ダメね構えたらすぐに撃ちなさいって習わなかったのかしら
That's what I was saying, man. I mean, I guess she thought maybe she could get out of this without it, but like, I don't know, man.
その銃は弾なんか入ってなかったから結果は同
Yeah.
じだったけど、
But even still, should have just took the shot anyways. When she was spitting that Shangri-La story, that's when you fire, man. I'm sorry. It's too spooky. She casually pulled my hair to lift me while looking down at me writhing in agony, and she seemed to be enjoying herself. And then she brought her face with that warped smile closer to me and blew warm breath into my ear as she spoke in a cool, calm, and inorganic voice.
せっかくだから楽しんでいきなさいな実はねとっても素敵な新薬を研究している真っ最中だったの既存の比較にもならない夢の最終兵器がねどう素敵
That was the last thing I heard in this world as a human. Oh my god, she... No, Rina got turned into one of the brain thingies? Maybe? I mean, it's just... It's kind of sad. Oh no. The Rina's suffering doesn't end. Suddenly, her eyes opened wide, her whole body lost its strength, and she fainted. Foam came erupting from her mouth, and her expression looked ridiculous, like something you'd see in a manga.
あらあら、話はまだ終わってないのに。まあ、実験前にいいサンプルが手に入ったわ。
What did Rita ever do to deserve that? I mean, I don't think she deserves this, but yeah, unlucky. Moral of the story: don't break into clinics, okay? You never know when there might be an underground military facility. Just then, I sensed someone behind me and turned back. A man with a dignified looking face and dressed in a military uniform was standing at the entrance of the room with a mysterious expression. Ah yes, very dignified looking face. It was Okanogi, the commander of the mountain dogs that guard this institute, who effectively works directly for me.
セキュリティシステムの感度はどうかしら。ちゃんと作動していた？
使用通りの内容はとりあえず機能していたようです。
Okay, yeah, so they were just playing with her.
赤外線と音波での侵入者チェ
Oh.
ック、それに伴う詰め所への情報伝達はすべて異常なしです。
Well, that's good. That's pretty good.
ただ、すべてのシステムが一元で管理されてるってのは防犯上では致命的かもしれませんがね。
あら、どういうことかしら。
要するに、システムの根元をダウンしてしまえばすべてスルーってことです。ああ、そうは言っても解除するためには3歳以上のコード認識が必要ですね。
Is there anyone? Let's just talk to her, right? Or is it Okanoji
と
too?
いうことは、私と所長
Oh,
がここ
or
に
an
すぐ
Irie.
に入れば、あっさり通
Irie
過
and
できてしま
Takena.
えるのね。なら今度は、私が泥棒役で侵入してみようかしら。
Okanoji shrugged his shoulders and bitterly laughed at my joke. Then he looked down at the idiotic female rat lying by my feet.
大丈夫ですかね、こいつ。
問題はないわ。
I mean, how should that be a
この
problem?
女、その先組の
Yeah,
情報
nobody cares about her. She lost her gang. She lost Tepe. She's
そっち
gone
方
so
面
man.
で処分されたって警察も思うでしょ
Also
う。
that, yeah, that's good cover.
まあ、忍び込んできたが運の尽きってやつですか。
Okanoji lightly tipped her head with his toe as he said that. That level of shock wasn't enough to wake her, but he could tell she was still faintly breathing.
それじゃあ、2時間後に予定の場所で開始。実験参加者はきちんと予防薬の投与を済ませること。
Oh
巻
boy.
き添えを食ったりしたら
Living
笑い
test
話にもならない
subject.
からね。
Maybe she gets saved by the end of the arc, but also it seems a little unlikely because she literally said, "This is the last thing I've ever heard as a human." I don't know, man. I guess we just gotta end here. I mean, it's a nice place, you know, pacing-wise, even though I definitely could read some more. But yeah, it's nice to be back to the final arc. I like Dura a lot, but I do think it kind of messes. I mean, it definitely did mess with the pacing because I kind of just forgot what happened in this arc before we started. So, but yeah, we're back in it, boys. Uro's fun. Wait, no, I wasn't looking. I was trying to scroll. On the way back from a short smoke in the break room, Oishi suddenly noticed a family coming through the public entrance. Needless to say, one of them was a man he knew very well. It was Akasaka. We'll leave it there, and we'll see how our boys, our top boys, that is not Tomoe, are doing. But yeah, thanks for watching. Glad to be back to Miotsukushi main story. But yeah, later.